Bonjour et bienvenue à tous. Moi, je m'appelle Hani et je suis votre enseignante de la langue française. My name is Hani and I'm your French instructor. J'espère que vous allez bien ainsi que vos proches. Aujourd'hui, dans cette vidéo, je vais te parler des pronoms personnels sujets, subject pronouns in French. Il y a 9 pronoms personnels sujets en français. There are 9 subject pronouns in French. But before we start learning them, we must understand the topic first. So let us understand the topic first with the help of some definitions and with some examples. Now in the topic we have two words, subject and pronoun. Now we will see all the definitions separately first and then we will see what are the subject pronouns. The first definition, subject. A subject is a doer of the action in a sentence. It can be a noun, it can be a person, thing, place or an idea. Now if we talk about a pronoun is a word which replaces a noun or a pronoun. Now let us see the definition of subject pronouns. So subject pronouns are used to replace nouns that are the subject of the sentence. In English we have I, you, he, she, it, we and they. So in example 1, Paul is a doer of the action. So he will be the subject of the sentence. Now in the next sentence, word or pronoun he is replacing Paul, which was the subject in the previous sentence. So word he or pronoun he will be the subject pronoun. In example 2, Hina and Rohan are doer of the action. So Hina and Rohan are the subject of the sentence. Now the word they, which is replacing the subject Hina and Rohan in the second sentence, that will be the subject pronoun of the sentence. Now the question is, how do you find the subject of a sentence and apply subject pronouns? So here we have first step. First you will find the verb of the sentence. So in this example, to sing is a verb form. After finding the verb of the action of the sentence, we will ask who's doing that action, and the answer of that who will be your subject. For example, in this given example, first we have found the verb to sing or sings. Now we will ask who's doing that action of singing. So Paul is doing the action of singing. So Paul is our subject. Now if we want to replace that subject with a subject pronoun, we will use he. So he will be our subject pronoun of the sentence. Okay, so on this slide we are going to have a small and quick introduction of all these subject pronouns, and then one by one we will have their detailed informations too. First of all, here we have je. Je, c'est moi. Tu, c'est toi. Il, c'est lui. Elle, c'est elle. On, c'est une personne ou quelqu'un, ou peut-être c'est moi et d'autres personnes. Then we have nous, c'est moi et d'autres personnes. Vous, c'est toi et d'autres personnes. Il, c'est eux. And elle, c'est elle. Now we will learn all these subject pronouns in detail. So in the series of subject pronouns, first of all we have je. Je, that means I. For example, je mange. Je mange. Now here one thing you should notice, that Je must contract to J apostrophe when followed by a vowel or a mute H. For example, j'aime nager. J'aime nager. So here from the word J-E we are removing E and we put apostrophe because the next word M is starting with a vowel. The next subject pronoun is French is tu. Tu, that means you. In English, the second person subject pronoun is always you, no matter how many people you are talking to and regardless of whether you know them. But French has two different words for you, tu and vous. Tu is the familiar you and we can use it while talking to a person who is familiar to us, like a friend, a family member, your father, your mother, your brother, your sister, etc. But we cannot use tu while talking to a person whom you don't know, who is an authority figure like your professor, your boss, your head, the president, and tu also can't be used while talking to a person who is older and whom you want to show respect. For example, with a colleague, you can ask, Tu es français? Tu es français? Tu es français? While talking to a relative, you can ask, Veux-tu aller au cinéma? Veux-tu aller au cinéma? Veux-tu aller au cinéma? To a friend, you can say, Tu me manques. Tu me manques. Tu me manques. To a child, you can say, Tu veux jouer. Tu veux jouer. Tu veux jouer. With a pet, you can say, Tu es mignon. Tu es mignon. Tu es mignon. The French third person singular subject pronoun is il. Il is used just like its English equivalent he. So when talking about people, particularly a man or a boy, we can use il. In addition, it can also mean it. And as you know, in French, all nouns are either masculine or feminine. So to replace them, you use the subject pronouns corresponding to that. So while talking about an animal or an object which is masculine, we can use il. Il est petit. Il est petit. Il est petit. Il est un chien. Il est un chien. Il est un chien. Il est noir. Il est noir. Il est noir. Now the next subject pronoun in French is elle. Elle means she or it. It is the French third person singular subject pronoun and used just like its English equivalent she. So while talking about a girl or a lady, we can use elle. In addition, it can also mean it. So while talking about an animal or an object which is feminine, we can use elle. For example, elle est ma sœur. Elle est ma sœur. Elle est ma sœur. Elle est grande. Elle est grande. Elle est jeune. Elle est jeune. Elle est jeune. Subject pronoun in French is on. On is the indefinite pronoun and literally means one. It's often equivalent to the English passive voice. In addition, on is an informal replacement for we, you, they, someone, or people in general. For example, ici, on parle français. On est fou. Réponds si on te parle. On va jouer ensemble. On dit que ce resto est bon. On va faire quoi? Quand on est poli, on ne devrait pas se gratter les cheveux avec une fourchette. The first person plural French subject pronoun nous is used exactly like we in English, but in informal spoken French, on is used in place of nous. For example, Nous sommes contentes. The next subject pronoun in French is vous. Vous, that means you. Who is the formal you? It is used while talking to a person whom you don't know well. It is also used to show respect or maintain a certain distance of formality with someone. So while talking to an authority figure like your boss, your head, your professor, the president, the mayor, you can use vous. In addition to that, vous can be used while talking to an older person whom you want to show respect. Vous is also the plural you. You have to use it when talking to more than one person, no matter how close you are. For example, vous parlez français. Comment vous appelez-vous? Vous êtes gentil. Pouvez-vous m'aider? Vous avez un rendez-vous à 17 heures. Now if we talk about third person plural subject pronoun, we have two third person plural subject pronouns in French, il and elle, and they both mean they. Let's discuss il first. Il is used for groups of men as well as mixed gender groups. It can be also used to talk about animals and objects which are masculine. For example, ils sont des amis. Ils sont petits. Ils sont petits. Ils sont mignons. Ils sont rouges. The last 9 subject pronoun in French is elle, that means they. It is also a third person plural subject pronoun in French as il, but the only difference, elle can be used while talking about a group of girls. In addition to that, it is also used while talking about animals or objects which are feminine. For example, elle voyage. Elles sont grandes. Elles sont rouges. So I hope all the subject pronouns are clear to you now and you can easily frame some small sentences, and of course don't forget to write them in the comment box. Don't forget to like and subscribe my channel. This is Honey with French Popcorn signing off. Merci et bonne journée.